And while renewing their call for stricter pollution controls at the Goodyear plant up in Niagara Falls, environmental activists presented an award today to a former New York State DEC employee turned whistleblower. Channel 2's Dave McKinley has more about why they are lauding this former state employee. Hello, Dave.
Hi there, Scott. These groups, including the NAACP and the Sierra Club of Niagara Falls, presented their 2026 Environmental Justice Hero Award to former DEC engineer here, Dylan Keenan, who they praised for standing up even when it meant losing his job. A few years back, involved in the review of the emissions permit for Goodyear and raised questions about the amount of a chemical called orthotoluidine, known to cause bladder cancer in humans, being emitted from the plant, and his suspicions the documentation submitted by the company was inaccurate. He says while he was initially praised for his thoroughness, his bosses at the DEC eventually told him to water down his report and de-emphasize any references to bladder cancer and the discrepancies he found. Instead, though, he shared his findings with the EPA and the state attorney general, which he says resulted in discipline and the eventual loss of his job.
I am here because my findings were thorough and truthful, and I stood behind them.
When he stepped outside of those state walls, he didn't leave his sense of duty behind. He chose to sacrifice his comfort, his time, and his career stability. He brought his expertise straight to the front lines.
And he also brought a federal lawsuit against the DEC and his former bosses, which accused them of violating his rights against retaliation for speaking out about a matter of public health concern in his employment as a licensed professional engineer and violating his rights under the Whistleblower Protection Act. Back in February, though, Keenan withdrew that lawsuit, and court papers indicated this was due to a dispute with his attorney on how the case should proceed. It was done so, however, Scott, without prejudice, which means that he can refile that case in the future. Scott?
All right, Dave McKinley reporting tonight. Dave, as always, thank you for that.